with that, we bring in Pennsylvania Republican Senator Dave McCormick. He served in President Bush's administration, Undersecretary of Commerce for Industry and Security, Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economic Affairs, Undersecretary of Treasury for International Affairs. He's also the co-author with Dina Powell McCormick of this fantastic new book, which is called Who Believed in You? How Purposeful Mentorship Changes the World. Senator, great to have you with us. Thank you very much for being here. So what are your thoughts? Is it a time for choosing? And what do you see when you look around the world at Japan and the EU and you see President Xi out there courting these other countries? What's going on?
Yeah, well, the fact remains that since World War II, the United States, for good reason, has made itself available to the world. It's given great trade deals to Europe and Japan, China and other places. The hope was that that would help them all recover from war-torn or from being developed countries. But the fact remains that we have very unfair trading practices. We have tariffs, we have non-tariff barriers, we have currency manipulation that has really been terrible for the American worker, terrible for small towns like I grew up in, where the mill had 2,000 workers when I was in high school, 200 now. And so we've got to get fairness. And what President Trump's trying to do with the tariffs is get fair deals. That's going to be great for our economy. It's going to be great for certain industries. And China, of all the countries that have been offenders, is the worst offender. And China poses not only a trade risk, but a geopolitical risk. And so I think the president's focus on getting fair deals and really bringing together allies like Japan, like Australia, like Europe, and isolating China is a critical path and makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, what you just said there, isolating China. There was a time when I covered these markets, and you were in positions as well, where it was felt that opening up the world was a good thing. Do you now think that we are in a position where we are decoupling from China? Is that the path that we're on? And do you think that it's the right path?
Yeah, I think we're on a path to strategic decoupling. What I mean by that is there's certain industries, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, advanced manufacturing, where America needs to have that capability at home or in the hands of our very closest allies. And we can't be dependent on China. We learned that during COVID. I don't think that means we need to cut off all trade and investment with China, but those things that have real national security consequences, those kinds of jobs and industries which are going to be great for the middle class here in Pennsylvania and around the United States, that's where the focus needs to be. And China, listen, since they came into the World Trade Organization, they simply haven't opened their markets. They've had non-tariff barriers. They have made it very difficult. Many of the things that Chinese firms can do in the United States, U.S. firms can't do in China. So beyond the security threat, there's a fundamental unfairness.
It sounds like Japan was indicating that maybe they're going to buy even more defense, that they want the regional security, and I expect that that might be part of what we might hear if we do get an announcement on a deal here. What do you make of the EU, sort of suggesting that, well, maybe we don't want Starlink, and maybe we want to have a meeting this summer with President Xi?
Well, I think the fact remains the United States economy is the most dynamic, the most appealing in the world. That gives us enormous leverage. And as I said, we have very unfair deals. So I think ultimately, and we provide a defense protection, both the support of NATO and the support of Japan. So I think that puts us in a position where we should be able to find, and I think President Trump's on a path, hopefully, to having great deals with Japan and other places. I think that'll bring a lot of certainty to the market. And the way I think about these allied relationships, it's like a marriage. One party, the United States, has been unfairly treated, and they're saying, listen, we need to get fairness. That doesn't mean we have to get divorced, but we have to push really hard to make sure the relationship comes back into balance. And that's what President Trump's doing.
Yeah, it seems like the U.S. and our allies are in marriage therapy right now, but we might be on the path to divorce with China, at least in some aspects, as you say. One of the hardest hit areas of the economy right now are these middle businesses who can't pick up the phone and call the president and get a carve out. And now they're concerned that they might get hit with very high income tax increases as well. What's happening in the Senate? What can you say to these businesses to help them get some clarity on what's going on?
Well, my Senate colleagues and I think, are very committed to making sure that we get an extension made permanent, the Trump tax cuts of 2017, not raising taxes, not raising taxes. Extending those cuts essentially means that we protect the American workers.
Not raising taxes on anyone?
No, not raising taxes.
Upper end either?
No, not raising taxes. I mean, I think if anything, we need to have focused efforts on child care tax credit, child care IVF tax credits, things that help those families at the other end of the income continuum that just can't afford to get by. 60% of Pennsylvanians live in paycheck to paycheck. We're going to have to find a way to help them have the American dream, too. Well,
congratulations on the bestseller, Who Believed in You, that you wrote with your amazing wife, who was on with Dana and Bill this morning, Dina Powell McCormick. So quick, before I let you go, who believed in you?
You know, I had a football coach. I rode the bench as a sophomore in high school. A new coach came in. He watched the films. He saw something in me, and he pulled me aside. He said, "You've got potential." He eventually made me the co-captain of the team as a junior. I went on to be an all-state football player. It helped me get into West Point. That guy saw something in me I didn't see in myself, and it changed my life. And that's what we talk about in the book. People you have never heard of can change the world by helping mentor and find purpose for the next generation of leaders, and that's what we want to do with this book, my wife and I, Dina.
Well, congratulations, and it's true. And there's other stories in here along the same lines of people who gave someone confidence when they needed it. And you give someone a little bit of confidence, which you guys have done through your mentorship in so many ways, and great stories of other individuals who've done the same thing. Great Americans in this book as well. So thank you very much, Senator.
Thanks,
it's great
Martha.
to see you. Great to have you with us on The Story today.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.